Okay, so welcome back to another Sparking video, and today's video, this is actually not going to be a showcase. This is actually going to be going over the new patch because there are a lot of things that they've added or changed in the game that hopefully is going to change the entire landscape of the game. What I mean by that is I'm hoping that it's going to allow for a lot more character diversity because they have changed a lot of the mechanics for, I guess, a lot of the characters that were super strong, so that now it seems like every character may actually have a chance, because hopefully it means that all characters have been fixed. I will be going over as many of the points that I can to the best of my ability to give you a clear idea about how much has changed in the game, and obviously whether or not you think the game has changed a lot and whether or not you want to invest time in it again. So we're going to go in order of what they've put on their website. So I do have their website up in another tab, and what I'm going to do is just go over them in the order that they put them in. And I'm only going to cover the adjustments to the battle system. Anything outside of that, I'm not really interested in covering. I'm just kind of looking at how the game is going to be played from now on. So let's hurry up and get into this. The first thing we're going to cover then is the short dash. So the first thing that they've noted is that they've reduced the speed of backward short dashes. So what that means is the short dash, just doing this, if you go backwards, then now this is basically not as strong as going in the other directions. The speed when you're doing the backward short dash is what's been changed. So this is slower. Now, to be fair, when I look at this is super fast. Like, I'm moving a lot, but then when I'm going back, I feel like not even the speed. I just feel like I'm not even covering as much distance. But what that should mean then is that it should be easier for the opponent to rush you down, because now your dash backwards, where a lot of people like to dash and do key loss and stuff, won't be as strong. So that's a good change, because we're trying to limit the amount that people can run away. We want people to try and fight, you know, hands to hand, okay? Secondly, they have reduced the recovery time after initiating a dragon dash during a short dash. So what they're saying is that when you're doing this short dash, if you do this, apparently the recovery time between doing the short dash into the dragon dash has been reduced, so you can do it faster. This isn't something that I'm really too sure about, because it's not really something that I ever did. But yeah, apparently now this is faster. Cool, nothing wrong with that. Next, going on to the high-speed dragon dash. Adjusted the input timing to make it easier to connect rush attacks upon arrival on the opponent. So what that's saying is if you just do your R2X and then you do your rush attack like that, now that is faster. Okay, so good. Well, no, sorry, no, I said that wrong. They've just adjusted the input timing to make it easier to connect. Not that. This. I messed up again. This. Boom. Reduced the time required to fully charge smash attacks during high-speed dragon dash. So what that is when you've knocked them away and then you follow up, now the time for this apparently has been reduced, so it takes less time to charge up. Which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, that's good. Adjusted the system so that even when manipulating the trajectory during high-speed dragon dash, the player will ultimately reach the front of the opponent. Now, I didn't really do this a lot, so I didn't really see a problem, because I guess never really tried it a lot to see if there was a problem. But what it means is when you're doing, oh, hold on, please stop. What that means is when you are doing this and you're changing trajectory, you're basically going to be able to land in front of the opponent a lot more now. Like, it's going to be locked on better, because apparently you could miss before from the looks of it, which is, again, a good change. Now going on to a big one, the Z burst dash. Reduced the key needed for activation and changed the system to consume key based on the distance traveled after activation. This honestly might be one of my favorite changes, because now if I change my settings here, you're going to see that we pretty much have what the game used to be like in terms of like the Z burst dashes before, where now if I come from maybe like this distance, it's 1 and a bit bars, which is obviously a lot better than 2. If I wanted to do something like this and I'm in their face and then I just could do that, look at that, that's 1 and like 1/5 of a bar. That's a lot more manageable in terms of like spending, because before spending 2 bars for something so small was just not worth it. But now you actually might do something like this again, because now it's not so bad using 1 and a bit bars for such a short dash. And then the thing is that it starts off at 1 bar, but then it's based on now the distance that you travel. So you saw that I spent about 1.25 at that range, and now if I do this, you see it's about 1 3/4. So depending on your distance, you will spend more meter, which honestly, that's how it should have been. I think that's a lot better, and I'm glad that they dropped the cost down. So now, from like this range, if I dash in with the Z burst dash, 2.5 bars, that's fair. But I mean, to be fair, you wouldn't ever dash from so far away anyway, because you're just gonna get easily anticipated and then you're going to get destroyed. Next, general melee attacks. Increased the ki recovered upon hitting an opponent. So what this means is, per punch, you're going to generate more ki, which I think is also a good thing as well, because you want to kind of just enjoy more hand-to-hand combat. You don't want to always have to try and stall to try and get ki at some point. So if you're telling me that I can just do combos and generate a lot more ki from my hits, that is fantastic. So that's a good change. I do think that we may run into an issue where if, for example, you have like an android on the team, that's also going to apply to them, which is pretty insane because we already know that androids are super strong because they generate so much ki, and now they get to generate even more ki because of this. So that could kind of backfire a bit, but to be honest, I do like it just for the characters that I like to use. I think just having more ki is good because you can just do a lot more, and for doing your combos, you should be rewarded. Adjusted the system to make attacks less likely to deviate from their target when used against an opponent immediately after they use a step. So we've obviously complained about this a lot. It's to do with the tracking in the game. So whenever someone would sidestep, you would end up punching the air and not really managing to hit your target because the tracking was just terrible. So what they've said is the tracking is now better. So when someone sidesteps, you're more than likely not going to just miss terribly. I'm not sure about how accurate it is. Obviously, that's something that I'm going to have to experience myself as I play the game more. But hopefully what it means is just generally you're not going to miss if you actually time your hit after they sidestep. Like if they sidestep right at the time where you punch, then missing there is understandable. But if you've managed to kind of just hold off and wait and then you try and hit them, you should be rewarded for playing patiently and obviously anticipating what they were going to do. So hopefully that has been adjusted to a point where we can all be happy. Next, rushing. They've fixed an issue where guarding was possible between rushing and rush attacks in some cases. So for this, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing a combo, and then I'm going to have the computer guard now. So they should start guarding when they get the opportunity. So the idea is I'm going to do my combo like per usual, and then here. So normally a lot of characters are not able to get past their second rush chain or their third one because by then the computer would have managed to start blocking. And as you saw there, Goku managed to get all 3 rush chains, and I'm pretty sure that Goku probably did not have like a fast enough rush chain to be able to do all 3 before. I do have some other characters, so I will try another character. So I remember Goku was a character that I showed that couldn't do that. So again, now we're going to try with Goku where, okay, we start the combo and then we're going to get the computer to guard. And then we're going to see if they manage to block at any point. And there you go. So basically, they fixed that. And it seems that maybe for all characters then, I'm not sure if it's only like the super strong characters, but as you see now, I'm able to do my full rush chain without them managing to guard. That's a big bonus because again, there were so many characters that you wouldn't consider using because for some reason their combo could just be blocked in the middle, so you can never do a full chain. So that's fantastic. Very, very good change. Rush chains. They've made it possible to activate rush chains even while rush attacks are being automatically evaded by characters like Goku and Whis. There are some things to kind of mention around it, but first we'll just talk about what they mean. So here, normally when you would have Goku auto dodging, you couldn't do anything apart from this. You just had to do your auto combo and then stop. I've complained about it and I said like what they could do to fix it, and I'm glad that they did. You should be able to do your rush chains in the middle of your combos being evaded. So now I can interrupt his auto dodge with my rush chain. I said that that is a big deal and that you should be able to do that because again, just having this just means that I'm going to get countered by a free perception all the time, because if he just does a perception, it's not going to take any resources and it's basically free. But at least this way, if he does one auto dodge and then I do this, at least he's having to spend his resources. He's going to have to spend a skill point on that counter. And then if he just relies on the auto dodge, then guess what? He's just going to get hit. So that's a very big change. I'm happy that they've done that. And obviously the same applies to Whis as well. Smash attack. Adjusted the system to allow for smoother connections when using smash attacks during rush attacks. So during a rush attack... Oh. Okay, hold on. Whoa, wait. Did you always do that? I mean, to be fair, maybe it's just because of the new system where they've allowed for you to start doing other things like rush chains in the middle of your combo, but now look at that. Like, you can just kind of smoothly throw in a smash attack in the middle of your combo. Let me see, hold on. Oh, so look at that. Yeah. I like that. So yeah, it's a lot easier to throw these in the middle of your combos now. It should be smoother. So yeah, for UI Goku's doing that, then bam, stop auto dodging. Oh, you're auto dodging, stop it. Alright, let me calm down. So next up on the list, we have Rush Ki Blast. So Rush Ki Blast, they've reduced the damage. And with that, they've also strengthened the damage reduction correction when hitting multiple times in a row. So that's just your standard Ki Blast. So when you do this, oh, I would pick. Oh, gosh, hold on. So now what that means for both of those is that together, they're going to reduce the damage of when you do them in a chain. So you can see that damage is not a lot. Let me get someone like Dama Vegeta who can spam a lot more Ki Blasts. So what you're going to see then is that the more that I hit him, the more the damage reduction is going to kick in, and then you're just going to see that the damage is just going to be, yeah, just not that much. So yeah, that is 3,625. Okay. So what that means then is that when people want to spam a lot of Ki Blasts when they're in sparking, the damage reduction is going to kick in, and also just the damage that they naturally have has been reduced so that it's not as effective a strategy when they're in sparking, which is fantastic. So again, you just see there's just a lot more damage reduction now. Fantastic. Next, this is regarding the Smash Ki Blast, and this is a very beautiful change. They've reduced the damage of spreading type Smash Ki Blasts. So what that means then is when you have characters like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta who would normally dish out like 4k, 5k, 6k, I can't remember, but it was a lot of damage just off of his shotgun Ki Blast. Now, 1,656, and that full charge, 2,896. So that is a lot more manageable because before it was like double the damage. So that's a very welcome change. The next change is that they've made it possible to deflect the Smash Ki Blast from UI Goku. So what they mean is that this move can now be deflected like a normal Smash Ki Blast from other characters, which is great. I want to see if I can get the computer to do it because I have tried to get the computer to do it to me and it's terrible. It doesn't work. The computer's very dumb. So, oh, look, there you go. You see that? He pushed it away. Go on, deflect it. Oh, look, there you go. You see it? It got deflected again. There you go. So that is very good because now UI Goku has been gutted. Because now you can't just block me off all the time. Now I can still... Ow, bro, stop. We're gonna just see, go and deflect. There you go, you see that? He deflected it. And again, deflect. There you go. Easy. Love that. Very good change. So that means now you can literally just dash through them as well. And see, when you deflect it away, I can't get another one because it's still on the map. So I can't do another one of those Smash Ki Blasts because it's just on the map still. That's fantastic. So UI Goku's really taken a big hit here. Next, they have increased the key needed for and recovery time after firing unblockable Smash Ki Blasts. Oh. So I'm not sure if this applies to UI Goku here, but I'm just gonna use him as an example. So normally you would be able to super quick throw off these in a chain. Now they've increased the time so that you can't just throw them out. So if I actually get the computer to guard, the computer is now able to guard after the first one. So I'm going to do one, and then immediately, look, he can block. And then obviously after that, he can just start deflecting them. So beautiful. Now let's see, someone who's actually got an actual unblockable Ki Blast. Is there a difference? To be fair, I don't think there's really a change to him because the thing is, he was fine anyway generally because he couldn't do what UI Goku does. He had to wait for like a little cooldown between his Ki Blast anyway. So this is, I think this is the same, and this is fine. Okay. Perception. They have made it impossible to perform perception during guard stun. Okay, so what they're saying is normally when you were blocking, you could perception And now they've made it so that you can't perception, which is good because just being able to perception when you're guarding didn't really make sense. So look, now you can't do it. Now there were some other characters where I think it was very clear you could see where they could do it, but here there is no random lucky sort of guard where I can just somehow get a perception in the middle of your combo. Now it's going to complete my combo all the way to the end without you interrupting. So good, very good change. Next, they have increased the time window for follow-up attacks after a successful perception. So then basically, if I do a perception, there's now more time for me to react apparently. So basically now it's a lot easier for me to follow up, which I didn't think there was that much of a problem before, but maybe there was. So it's just easier to follow up. Nice. Oh, that's not a good thing. That's a very bad sign. Next, increase the key needed for activation. Okay, so perception once again has had an increase to the amount of key needed. So let's see, if I do this, how much is that? That's like about half a bar. And then you just hold it and it's whatever. Okay, so about half a bar. Oh no, that's not even half a bar, that's about a third of a bar. Increase the skill count requirement for using perception against smash attacks and rush chains from 1 to 2. Now that is big. I did not notice this when I played earlier. And this is good for people like me who obviously aren't relying on perception. This actually means that UI Goku has been hit even harder than I thought then. Because UI Goku before was able to just do a bit of his auto dodge into perception and he would normally counter you. So now, here's the trick when you're playing against UI Goku. If you're going up against the UI Goku, then you want them to use the auto dodge into perception, because now if you do one hit into a perception, then you're going to take 2 bars away for that. They're going to lose 2 skill count. Before, 1 skill count really wasn't a lot. 1 skill count really didn't mean much, and it was like, well, guess what? I can get that 1 skill count back in like 2 seconds. But 2 skill counts now, you've just eliminated them from using a wild sense again, or you've taken half of their chance of like going for an insta spark in a bit. Like that's big. I'm very happy about that. So to give you a clearer idea about what I mean then, so I'm going to give UI Goku his skill counts back. I had to take it away from him because he's being annoying. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set him to do perception, and now you're going to see that, oh, hold on, do it, bro, do it. Oh, I have to change it from max to normal, otherwise you won't see it, will you? Bro, do it. There we go. So there, it took 2 skill points. So that's big. So now anytime that he wants to use his perception into it, you're gonna have to spend a lot more resources. 2 skill points is a lot better. Oh, bro, stop doing that. There we go, look at that, 2 skill points. Next, super perception. They have buffed the effects granted upon deflecting a blast. So they've increased the effect amount and they've extended the effect duration. As well as they've slightly restored ki upon deflecting a blast. So what this means then is that if he does the Kamehameha and I deflect it, then I get some ki back, as well as the effect duration has gone up. So look, again we're gonna do it. So I'm at 4 bars right now. He's gonna do 1 more. And I'm gonna get hit by it. Love that. Go on. I'm really not even paying attention. How much am I losing? 1 more time. Let me just go straight to 2 bars. Oh. Hold on. So we're at 2 bars. And then do it. Goku. There you go. So I get about 1 bar back, which is pretty cool. That's nice. Now, bearing in mind, super perception does actually take some resources, so just know that you will be spending some resources for it. So you see, I spent 2 bars, and wow. Now I'm at, so wait, the effect stacks. I mean, that doesn't really matter because I'm not going to do it that many times, but you see it stacks. So now I'm at like an 8 times multiply, whatever, but yeah, okay, cool. So that's pretty cool. Not like it's a super big deal, but if you want to flex on someone, then you can. I'm all for it. Blast. Reduce the damage dealt when hitting with blast or ultimate blast during a combo, as well as they reduce the damage dealt when hitting with blasts consecutively. Okay, so if I wanted to go for something like a high speed strike into, let's say, my ultimate attack, there's going to be a lot more damage reduction in the combo now. So the combo is not to be as strong as it was before. So then you see, after doing both of those attacks together, I only got to 15,000 damage, which really isn't a lot. Auto Reflect. Only characters with 7 DP or higher can activate Auto Reflect during sparking mode. So basically, if you look at a character like UI Goku, if he does a Ki Blast to me, I'm going to get hit by them. Yeah, you see? I don't deflect them, I get hit by them now, because you have to be 7 DP for the Auto Reflect to kick in. So, for example then, if I now change to... Let's say I change to Vegeta, and now I transform. Wait, hold on. Stop. Let me transform. I transform into Super Saiyan 3. This is now 7 DP, which means if he starts doing Ki Blasts, yeah, now you see that, bro, that's not part of the script. Stop. Ki Blasts. Now you can see the Ki Blasts do not work. My auto deflect is on, so that's what that means. Which means that the weak characters that love to just have auto instant spark, and then they'll just use the whole auto reflect and hyper armor and everything, they don't have that anymore. You can't deflect Ki Blast, which is fantastic. They have increased the automatic Ki recovery speed for the first Ki gauge only. So what they mean is that the first Ki gauge, you can see the first Ki gauge is going up. The speed is different to the second. So after the first one, now it gets slower, I think. I think that's slower. Yeah, I think that's slower. So hold on, let's actually do some counting, all right? So. Okay, so yeah, the first Ki gauge is faster than the second one. So that's what they mean. The first Ki gauge will go up faster than the second one. Next, they have adjusted the camera behavior during battles between normal sized and giant characters. Now, to be fair, it's not like it's something that I was used to seeing often, but apparently the camera is now better. Well, I didn't stay, bro. I feel like, okay, so I feel like I'm a lot closer. Maybe that's what they meant. So like now I'm just like really up in his face. Like he's I'm not gonna lie, now he does feel a bit more like a giant, but then at the same time you don't feel as giant as it's supposed to be. But okay, so I guess the camera's just closer. Next, they've adjusted the system to prevent accidental throws during air combos when using classic controls. Now I don't actually know the classic controls, so I can't really cover that one. And then the last thing is they have adjusted the time until character switching becomes available. So the time between character switching has been increased. Okay, now we're going to look at the adjustment to some skills. So looking at the first one, skills that automatically evade enemy attacks, for example Wild Sense and After Image. They've made it so that the effect is cancelled if perception is used during the effect's activation. So basically that's the same as After Image Strike. So for example, if I put on my Ultra Movement, which is basically UI Goku's equivalent of Wild Sense, and now I set the computer to do a perception, if they manage to hit a perception at any point, now it has actually been taken off. So now if I get the computer, you see I haven't had any sort of cut or anything like that. I'm going to get the computer now to start attacking. You're going to see that my Wild Sense is now gone and they can start hitting, well, okay, hold on, after, yeah, there you go. You see? So now, just like After Image Strike, all moves get cancelled by perception. So that's, in my opinion, a good change. Next, they have increased the activation time of Kale's Cry of Rage, which in my eyes, as someone that's been on the receiving end, this is very good because this move was too fast before. Now they've given it a bit more of a startup. So I mean, this is still very fast, but at least now you can either like dash away or something when she's approaching you, because before people would literally just do this and do that and like they would hit you with their ultimate straight away, and like there's not really much you could do with it because it was just so fast. So now there is just that little bit more time that you can react to it. So that's good. Changes and adjustments to blasts. So unblockable explosive wave type blasts in general. They've increased the expansion speed of the effect range. Characters like Majin Vegeta, or you see here Gamma 2, they have said that now they have increased the speed of his ultimate attack, that it spreads a lot faster. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, wait, how fast was that? Okay, so that looks like it's very easy to combo now because that was super fast. Oh my. Which is, I'm happy with that because I do want his ultimate to be fast. I want him to be usable. So now let's see. I'm going to try and get the computer to avoid my super attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set them like this. Oh, what? Bro, wait, what? Okay, stop. Stop. Okay, so let's do this. And let's see how fast the computer can react. Nope. You're just going to get hit now. So this may be okay, but it also depends on the vanishing aspect. I guess it's going to be like all the other explosive blasts now. So let's see then. I'm going to try one more time. So you see now, it's a lot faster. Like, there is no recovering at that point. You're going to get hit. Or you have to vanish. How much damage is that going to do? Okay, 16,000. Alright, cool. So, yeah, that's a big change. And honestly, I don't know. We'll have to see how it is in terms of vanishing it. But I'm happy that it means that these characters, like, for example, Gamma 2 and Majin Vegeta, are more viable now. Where you might want to just try and do their ultimate blast. Because it is something that is cool. It looks fantastic. But you just could never do it. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. Nice. For rapid Ki Blast type blasts, they've increased the damage. Okay, so this is the big deal for characters like this Vegeta. But we have to see as well. So, okay, what they're saying is that this move now, they've increased the damage on... Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That was 10k? Okay, that's a lot. Okay, no, okay, something happened. Something happened, clearly. Was it? It's not 10k this time. I guess, did I boost it last time? I think I did. Okay, yeah, so boosted, that's 10k. But now, here's the thing, though. I haven't looked through the rest of the patch notes, so maybe they have changed it, but let's just try something. So I'm going to set the computer to guard after attacks. I want to see if they can just vanish it like they could before. They're going to boost it, and... Okay, yeah, so they can still vanish it, so it doesn't really mean anything. It's, okay, if one of them hits, then cool, I get a bit more damage, but in general, the move can still just be vanished in the middle of, so whatever. Now for this Trunks, they've increased the ki needed for his final flash, but with that, they've also increased the damage. So if we boost it, how much damage is that? Oh, that's a lot of damage. So yeah, 14,000, basically 15,000, and that's on UI Goku, by the way. So yeah, that's a lot of damage. So that's cool. Now for Super Trunks, his Finish Buster, they've increased the strength. So now this does 10k boosted. Okay. And then for this section, the last thing, which unfortunately I can't show you because I can't ever get the computer to do it, but this is a big one as well. Whis, who also had a very disgusting gimmick, he can now, like his Symphonic Destruction, which was his 2-bar super, which before was unvanishable, can now be vanished. Again, it's very hard for me to actually show it because the computer, it's very hard to get them to do it. But before you couldn't vanish it, and now you can vanish it. So very happy about that. Alright, and now we're going to kind of speed through these last little things here. So for giant characters in general, they've reduced the damage of rush attacks and smash attacks. So, oh, it's another giant. Wow, there's a, look at the size difference. So now my smash attacks do not do as much damage. I can't really remember the numbers, but okay. Numbers have changed. Cool, well, yeah. Next, they've increased the recovery time after missing with rush attacks and smash attacks. So then if you miss, apparently the recovery time is now... Oh, I didn't know you were going to go that far. Okay, hold on. So now the recovery time is longer. Okay. Next, they've increased the damage taken from melee attacks. So if we take a character like Gamma 1, apparently the damage that I do to them, it has been increased. Okay, so like 7,700. Okay. And then they've also reduced the speed of backward short dashes on giants too. So is that like a double nerf for them then? So then if I go to Cell Max and try and backdash. Okay, kind of hard to tell. Next, for Master Roshi, Hercule, and Yajirobe, they have reduced the ki recovery speed. Alright, so now the speed has been reduced. I don't actually know how fast it was before, but I mean, this seems pretty fast. Okay, cool. Good for you. Next, androids with automatic ki recovery. The automatic ki recovery is now stopped during Z counters. So what that's saying is during Vanish Wars, the ki recovery speed is now stopped. Now, I'm a little bit confused because as far as I know anyway, that wasn't a thing. Like, if you super counted, then I know that you could keep regenerating ki. But apparently it's just saying during Z counters. So hold on then. So we're gonna have this, and then we're gonna do this. So was that ever a thing though? Okay. Hold on, let me see if I super counted then. Go on, hit me. Okay. So I can still generate ki like this. So that hasn't changed. So I don't really understand. I didn't think you could generate ki. Ow, stop. Hold on. Again, let's see. Yeah, look, I can still generate ki. Oh, okay. But yeah, I can still generate ki like that. So interesting. Next, androids. The silhouette of the character is no longer visible to the opponent while Z-search is deactivated. So that's just basically saying that you can't use their silhouette to find them when you've locked off of them. So after they've done their ultimate or something. Next, referring to everyone's favorite character. They have increased the cooldown time when attempting to fire another smash ki blast. So once you've used one, you cannot repeatedly just spam the next one straight away. You have to wait a little bit. There's a cooldown. I showed that earlier. And see, it is still pretty fast, but what this means is that if I set the computer to guard, the computer is actually capable of guarding. So here, I'm going to go behind him, and I'm going to try and shoot them off repeatedly. And you see, now he can block. And remember, if he can block, he can also deflect them now. So yeah, that's fantastic. So next, you see they have reduced the health on Nappa. He is a 3-bar character. They have reduced the health on Spopovich. He is now 2.5 health bars. Raccoon is no longer a 4 health bar character. He is also a 3 health bar character as well. So they've had all of their health drop. That's fantastic. For 2% Blue Gogeta, they have actually reduced the damage of his Smash Ki Blast, as well as they've reduced the homing's ability. So now the homing isn't as good. So if they're dashing to the side, I think it's easier for them to avoid. They also fixed an issue where apparently with Hirudegan, rush attacks would hit even when the opponent was guarding. I didn't really get any footage of this because I didn't know what it was like before, and they've run into that issue. So we'll move on to the next one. Then for flying kicks, they've adjusted the position. I'm not really too sure how they've adjusted the position, but I guess it's just so that it can hit better. It can hit more accurately. It's not going to whiff as much, if that's the thing. The throw evasion adjusted the system to make it less likely for the camera to switch momentarily upon activation. I think that's when someone grabs and then they cancel it. Sometimes the camera would change because it thought that the grab had activated, but obviously they actually counted it. Maybe they mean that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for what they've covered. And I'm not sure how you've taken this, if you think that there's a lot that's been changed, but I think that it has changed the game dramatically just from the little bit that I have played. And I think that it does now allow for people to enjoy using genuinely their favorite characters, because now there's a lot less problems with their favorite character and they work kind of like everyone else does. So that's very good. That's honestly fantastic. And then the last thing, they've just improved usability and operational stability. So yeah, that kind of covers it for everything that they have put into the new patch in Sparking Zero, at least for the online performance. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more gaming content. And with that being said, I'm going to leave the video there. Have a great day, y'all. Peace. Y'all look amazing.
I am the strongest.